Yo, what's good, family? This is Corey, your friendly neighborhood massage technician, bringing you life, love, and liberation. And this is Healing Tones, where I come on here and bless you with some words, poetry, prose, and exercises, movements, whatever, what have you, with the hopes that it brings a light, blessing, or good feeling to your day. Right? Yes. So, as we have been going through so far, we are on our foam rolling series. Yes, yes, yes. And so far, we have hit up certain areas of our body thus far, going in the direction of the flow of chi in the body. Right? Feet, legs, lower back, upper back, and now neck, head. Yes, yes. So, to kick this off, y'all all know that we always go over our materials for this foam rolling series day of neck and head. We will be using, of course, our handy dandy mats. We have our general foam roller. We have our deep foam roller. And I want to say that those are all the materials that we'll be using today. I will say that we will be using our hands and, of course, the floor to work with to getting at some areas of the skull area, because we can. Our hands are free. You know what I'm saying? We can touch our heads like that. And it's very useful to, have a sensation or use a sensation to get at a sensation, like the sensation of your hands, how they feel, and what's going on with your head. Anyway, so let's go ahead and drop into the nomenclature for today, right? So to start this off, we are going to be working with the cervical spine today, which kind of starts off at the top part of the shoulder line, if you will. It's usually kind of marcated, like if you bend your neck down a little bit, you can feel like the graduation of vertebrae, and there's this one protruding vertebrae that kind of sits like right there where the neck meets the top part of the shoulders. That's kind of the beginning, or that is the beginning of the cervical spine. It's that large piece or large vertebrae there at the top, and there are 7 of those running up the line. Yes. Now, as far as the nomenclature goes for the cervical spine, it's a Latin derivative, of course, and it's cervix in Latin, which means just neck or nape of the neck. So it's just describing where we are on the body. Just that's where you're at, the neck. The cervical represents the neck. There's that. We have some. We have some musculatures that line the cervical spine, or on the vertebrae of the cervical spine, and they are called the scalenes, which are 3 elongated muscles that kind of attach itself to the vertebrae and connect itself to the first rib and the second rib. One connects to the second rib, the other 2 connect to the first rib, I believe. Scalenes, in its nomenclature name, is, let me check my notes real quick. It's Latin. The Latin name comes scalenus, and its Greek derivative is skelenos, which means uneven or unequal. So it's like these unequal, oblong, elongated muscles that are on our necks. I don't know if they're necessarily talking about like the unequalness of their length between the 3, or is it like the unequalness of like its shape? And maybe it's like a little bit of both, but That's the name. Scalenes. Uneven muscle. That's what it is. So with that, working our way up, there's a nice little location I want to bring your minds to, which it kind of sits like right there where the skull meets. These little two areas where you see these little trigger point referral pains here, the occipitals. It's pretty much, I like to call them like the skull handles, if you will. Because like working from here when it comes to like finding or actually like cradling a head, like when I'm doing massage myself, holding onto this spot is like very easy to direct someone's attention where they need to go with their head. So I'm usually have my hands here when I'm working with the head. It's like my little controller for the dome piece, right? So either way, it's the occipitals that sit right here. And its Latin derivative comes from, it's like nothing really expansive about it. It's this occipitalis, which is the back of the head. We're just talking about the back of the head. This is where it is. The occipitals represent the back of the head, right? And our last big area I want to bring your mind to is the skull, and there's what you call sutures. I don't have a picture of a skull here, but technically in or on our skull, it's like, I like to think of it like the earth and its tectonic plates. Like these plates of land are just kind of, they're not necessarily fused together, but they have like this little space in between, like I guess you could say ligamental space, and they have this ability to waver a little bit and move. And what I have discovered with these sutures, they actually move on their own accord. It's not like you can move them, yes, like by pressing into them or pushing them in certain kind of ways, but it also moves, and it moves in a rhythm. So your head right now, as I'm speaking to you, is moving. It's kind of wild, even though it feels like it's sitting still. There's like maybe these little undulations or these rhythmic pulses. Maybe it's coming from the brain itself and how it's pulsing, and it's just kind of moving these little sutures around. I don't know, but it moves. So your head is not a stationary object. Your skull is not still. Just want to make that clear to you all, that you have a moving head. Yes? Yes. All right. So as far as the areas of the body goes, those are the main nomenclatures that we have for today, and those will be the main areas we will be focusing on today. There's definitely a different approach that we'll have to take in regards to massaging and self-massaging the neck and the head, because as you can see, like there's not that much space to roll around on your neck, you know, so you don't really get that added level of, you know, I guess motion when trying to massage out the neck. So it's a lot of stationary movements, holding in like deep tissue kind of work. You can turn on the foam roller and get into some deep areas, and definitely when it comes to the skull, we'll probably be using more of the floor to address like deep tissue work, but possibly using our hands as well, just to kind of locate some areas that may be of importance to us. Yes? So with that, that is the nomenclature piece of our talk today about foam rolling, and I'm going to catch you on the next video so we can go over some movements and see how we can dig into our cervical, our nape of neck, our occipitals, and like get in between these little tectonic plates that we like to call sutures in our skull. Yes? See you in a second.